Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back indeed to our Diablo 2 Resurrected playthrough. So, last time we left off, we were just starting off the Nightmare difficulty, and I was showing you guys basically that you gotta complete the campaign all the way over on Nightmare, and then you're gonna do the same thing on Hell. Right now, my character has already completed Hell difficulty, but I wanna go back and kind of show you the ins and outs, because when you do Nightmare difficulty, usually you don't just go straight from Nightmare to Hell, you do what's called bail runs. So, like I mentioned before in the last part, make sure you do all of the quests that are gonna give you extra skill points, bonus stat points like extra life, or the actual like stat points where you get to put in like strength, dexterity, vitality. That, make sure you do that extra quest too. That's in Act 3. So once we complete the Nightmare difficulty, what we're going to do is called bail runs. Up until we hit about level 75-ish is a good little reference. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys a bail run really quick. So we're going to go to the lobby. Now, if you do want to go back into the other difficulties, like you feel like you're under leveled, because you can do normal bail runs for a while too to get extra bonus XP if you felt like you went into Nightmare maybe a little bit too early. So you can click on this little button over here where it has the game difficulty. This is a new thing that was recently added for Diablo 2 Resurrected. And you can select the different difficulties. So if I want to go back into normal difficulties to do whatever, I can do that. It's a really nice quality of life change. But we're going to be doing a Nightmare difficulty, and we are going to be doing bail runs. So in order to do these bail runs, we have to first do the Ancients. It's the same quest that we do in Act 5 that you have to be level 20 to do. But in Nightmare difficulty, you have to be level 40. I'm just going to create a game in Nightmare called Fast Bail, no spaces, like 006 or something like that. Okay, so we'll go ahead and start it, and I'll show you guys what a bail run looks like, because you want to do these. You can join them too, but I want to create a game, so it'll be guaranteed a fresh game, so the bail run isn't already completed. But feel free to join them. But if you are confident in yourself to be able to do the bail run, it's always better to just do it yourself, because sometimes people are slow. So it's going to be in Act 5, and the quest that you want to do to complete it is going to be the Ancients. You have to be level 40 in Nightmare to do it, and in Hell difficulty, you got to be level 60. So this is the quest that you need to do. Quest over here. It is Rite of Passage. Make sure you also do the Prison of Ice as well. That will grant you the ability to get the bonus. Now, we are in Hell difficulty, but it's the same exact concept. I'm just doing it in Hell because, well, we'll get actual XP here. Oh, so I think, is someone else going to tell you? Sometimes these can be a little bit difficult, so don't feel bad if you die when you're trying to do a bail run. So you want to do these in Nightmare difficulty till about level 75. Again, is a good reference. And then you're going to complete the whole game all over again in Hell difficulty. And the only difference in Hell difficulty... Oh, did someone just already say it's up? Well, this guy was even faster than me. But that's just like insanely fast. Okay. Okay, awesome. So once they say TP up, you'll join some of these games too. But I'll show you in a private game the rundown as well. Now, you'll notice that as you go up in difficulty, there's going to be a lot more immunities. Like that one's immune to fire, so it's not that big of a deal. We have Fireball, if we want to use Fireball. And if it's immune to cold, you can still weaken them with your static field. I'm going to try to move over here so my mercenary doesn't die, because I want that extra mana regen. So, playing in a party is ideal. This lets you get around the immunities in the game. Make sure we have some extra room. So it's just like you would do this in normal difficulty when you're trying to complete this. You basically just keep on doing what's called bail runs, and he summons a bunch of monsters, and you'll get massive amount of XP on these waves. But you'll be doing this on Nightmare difficulty. I'm doing this on Hell because I'm currently level 82. And this is like one of the best ways to get XP in the game. A Lum Rune. Did we get it? No. But a lot of people will be playing Cold Sorceress. Right now I'm using Frozen Orb as our main skill because I got a really good Amulet. And I'll show you guys kind of the ins and outs of upgrading your gear. I'll show you our current gear. Nothing too special though. Unfortunately, our mercenary just died. Make sure you are able to try to pick up items. I'm still playing with a controller because picking up items is insane. Like, it's such a huge advantage right now. I'm curious to see if they're going to eventually nerf controller. But yeah, you'll see our XP go up quite a bit on the very last one. these guys will hit pretty hard. Ideally, you want to cap your resistances, unless you're doing Mana Shield, which I eventually want to spec fully into Mana Shield, but I need more levels. And we're actually going to be leveling up Teleport because it actually gives us mana efficiency on our Energy Shield. Yeah, this is our big XP right here. But unfortunately, he's immune to cold, so I'll hit him up with some statics. I'll also enchant everyone that's melee. I think maybe only the Zon, or melee, or if they're like ranged. Like the Smiter, he's doing magic damage, so he won't really be helping us out. You see so many cold sorceresses. I could throw Fireball too. That's another option. If it wasn't immune to fire. Sometimes you just get unlucky. I do happen to have that Lightning Storm still. I eventually will respec out. Right now we're specced out mostly for cold because I'll show you our gear and I'll show you how to acquire some better pieces. So here's Bale. Wow, this guy's melting him. And so with these Bale runs, he does hit pretty hard, so be careful. But you want to get really close to him when he's low HP, because you want the drops. So we're going to get right up close to him and try to spam the pickup button. And unfortunately, we didn't get anything. It's really hard to pick up items. In Diablo 2 before, there was a lot of what's called a picket bot. And it would basically pick up the items for you at inhuman speeds. And a lot of people had them. So it can be rough. So don't feel like, oh, you're not very good at the game if you can't pick it up. Sometimes people have scripts. And that's just, you know, the way it is. I don't know if there's any scripts right now on D2R. But now that this game's over, we would create a new game called Fast Bale 007. I'm going to leave this one and make a private game just so I can show you guys. But there's clearly bots. I mean, there's people spamming, go to our website to buy gold. By the way, do not do that. One, it could maybe get your account in trouble. Two, there could be scams, there could be duped items. It's a very risky thing to do, so my recommendation is just get the thing yourself. We're going to go ahead and just go into a Nightmare game real quick just so I can show you and it'll be a little bit easier. But yeah, you want to do these Bale runs again and again. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit play, and this will create like a private game here. I'm just going to select a Nightmare difficulty just so it'll be a little bit easier in case we get a bad spawn of these guys that shoot out lightning, which can happen.
Not here.
So once again, Act 5, the Worldstone Keep level 2. As soon as you defeat the Ancients, you'll just walk in and you'll be at the Worldstone Keep level 1. And level 2, you want to get the waypoint in all the difficulties pretty much. But the reason why I want to go back and show you it, that guy was really fast that did it. So you'll see that there's these little like red, I'm just calling it red dots over on the mini-map. But sometimes there will be immunities to things, so don't worry about killing things while you're trying to get to the Throne of Destruction. So you're basically going to teleport, and you'll see that we got really lucky. See those red dots, and there's basically like kind of a slit in the middle. That's indicating that there's a bridge there. That's how you know that you're getting to the next level. So you want to go from level 2 to level 3, and then the Throne of Destruction. There is a curse that they can throw on you. So you can see the little red dots. That's how we know we're at the next area. And if you are the one TPing, this is a good spot to throw up a portal because it's relatively safe, or in the top right, sometimes the top left. It kind of just depends on your luck, but this is the same exact thing that we just did. Just keep on doing these again and again. You can do them solo. I recommend doing it in a group because 1, immunities, 2, it's way faster, 3, you get better loot technically when doing it with more players. So yeah, just keep on doing that. And as far as our skill tree, because I happen to get this amulet, I decided to roll full cold. So let me show you guys what you can do for gear. I'm going to go back to mouse and keyboard because I prefer it with showing off stuff. So in terms of our upgrades, we really didn't get anything good. We have a Spirit Crystal Sword and we have the Spirit Monarch Shield. So again, you can get these as a drop, then you can do the socket quest like I showed you guys before with the Crystal Sword. But these won't drop until Hell difficulty anyway, so as soon as you complete it, you can try looking for one. But yeah, the Monarch Shield's the one that you want. Ours, unfortunately, didn't really roll that well, but it's okay. You can keep on making more of them. The only thing that really rolls that you're looking for is the faster cast rate on it. The rest of the stats, it doesn't really matter. As far as our helmet, we're still running the same thing. We did get a Skin of the Viper Magi. This is a nice little armor that just grants us +1 to all skills, extra faster cast rate, extra resistances, and then I put in a topaz in it to give me extra magic find, which is something we'll kind of talk about in a moment. But basically that increases our chances to get better items. We have Frostburn gauntlets. These are very common to get as well, and I'll show you guys if you want to try to pinpoint where is the best spot to get this like one specific item. I'm going to show you guys a drop calculator in a second. So basically our rings have been the same. This I just bought off a vendor, just had 50 life, and it granted us extra potion slots. Really no upgrades for a while, I would say. We got a Gauge Charm. All it does is give us reduced vendor cost and extra magic find. Eventually we're going to try to stack more magic find, but there comes a fine line between being able to kill things fast enough so you're actually efficient with magic finding faster versus getting so much magic find that you're unable to kill the things efficiently, and then you're actually slowing yourself down. So you could do a few different things to increase your magic find. You could just obviously get gear that says plus magic find on it, or you can actually get gems, and I think I have a helm somewhere saved that has sockets in it. Okay, here it is. So there's a helm over here that just has multiple topazes in it to grant us that extra magic find. So we have 72%, and if I wanted to I could wear it, like, because right now this isn't really that big of a deal. What we're looking for is a Harlequin crest, a Shaco. It's a helmet. It's kind of like the go-to really awesome helmet for most players in the very beginning. It gives you massive amounts of life. As far as our skill tree goes, let me show you this. I feel like that could be kind of important. So I'm spec'd out for cold now. Again, if you want to stay with fire, that's fine. I mean, I already posted the build down below in the pinned comment. And they're like, I think in the very first part is when we posted. I also posted in the second, like the previous video as well. Feel free to play around with what you want to. I eventually, you know, I like doing a hybrid, but sometimes I like playing PvP, and you can respec tactically as many times as you want with a token. However, most people don't really like to respec out again and again and again. For me, I like to play as cold for PvP. Lightning can be really good if you're super rich. It requires a lot of stuff. But generally, fire is considered the go-to at the start, like for every single person at the very start. They play fire, and they usually end up going cold. I like cold for PvP the most. However, you can play around with what you want to. Because this game doesn't have like a leaderboard or anything right now, just play with what you want to, have some fun with it, and maybe when the ladder does reset and we have an actual ladder for some type of progression, then you can decide, you know, what's the meta. Right now, I would say Blizzard Sorceresses are the most popular. I personally just prefer Frozen Orb, and, you know, just play with what you have the most fun with. Now, another thing is picking up items to sell for gold is actually a valid option to what's called the gamble. So I don't know, for whatever reason, I always like to gamble with Geed. Your level does matter for gambling, so depending on what you want, you may want to be a lower level. I'll link a video, if I remember, that will kind of go over gambling. Generally, it's just another way to spend gold, because gold is not a form of currency in this game, realistically. Like, yeah, you can gamble for random items with Geed. There's several different vendors, but one thing that's really nice is I can click on refresh. This is another nice change from D2R. I can just refresh, and I can keep on buying the same item that I want to. Like, if I buy one of these, I can buy another pair of heavy gloves. What I was buying time and time again is an amulet, because I didn't have a good amulet. This one I got really lucky, and it's just a +3 to cold skills sorceress. That's why I respect and cold. I mean, like, this is really nice. And it's really not that rare to get some of these amulets, what it says like +2 to sorceress skills. Some, you can go up to 3 to 1 specific skill. So you can go 3 to fire, 3 to cold, 3 to lightning, but you can't get 3 to cold sorcerer skills as far as I'm aware of, unless they've added something new in D2R, which I don't think so. You can get +2 to all skills, which is usually good too, and then you can get extra bonus stats. Ideally, you get like vitality and some form of resistances. Now, a lot of builds will tell you to max out resistances. However, if you do play this game and you do know what you're doing with like energy shield, because energy shield doesn't actually work off of resistances, like my resistances are super messed up right now. The reason why is because, one, we're in a harder difficulty. 2, I'm not actually going to be speccing out to take damage from life. Eventually, what we're going to do, and this is a weird thing, this is just one of those like things if you didn't know, now you know. So you actually put points into telekinesis because it gets a benefit from telekinesis, and it gives you like, how Energy Shield works is the more points you put into it, and plus all the skills works with Energy Shield to absorb more % via your Energy Shield. However, what Telekinesis does is it it doesn't even specify on this, which is really weird. How it works is when you put more points into telekinesis, but they have to be hard points, which means that you cannot have plus to skills on telekinesis. It has to be manually put into it. This will increase the amount of mana that is taken. How to put this in a better way? Technically, it reduces the amount of mana that you take when your energy shield is activating. So how it works is it starts off at basically if you take 1 damage to energy shield with energy shield's effect, you will take 2 mana points of damage. Eventually, this goes to 0.75 at max, but they have to be hard points. Again, you can't have plus 2 lightning skills and it'll work. You have to put them in manually. So basically, you max this out, and eventually this will get more synergies via just your plus to all skills, so it will be good enough. And so that's why you don't have to put in a lot of points into like speccing for resistances necessarily, if that's the route that you want to go, which is the route that I want to go because I want a PvP. And eventually we're going to get a bunch of charms that will grant us plus to skills. But really nothing too special about our gear. If you want to stay Fireball, just stick around with whatever skill that you want, unless you want to do Hydra, because that skill, it really should be buffed, to be honest. It's like it's a max level skill, and it's just really underwhelming. But next thing you want to do is keep on doing Magic Find runs. If you want better gear, how are you going to do it? You're going to do what's called Magic Find runs. And like I showed off previously, you would do whatever boss that you like doing. Some people like farming Andariel. Some people like farming Mephisto. Some people like farming Diablo. The thing with Diablo is it's kind of hard to get to him because there are more immunities. So my recommendation is always going to be Mephisto. The reason why is he's relatively easy. I would normally do Hell, but I'm already in this game right now, so I'm just going to do this difficulty. So once again, I'm just going to do this full run because it's important that you guys get used to this is how you play Diablo 2. So we're going to go straight to the Durance of the Hate, which is in Act 3. Go to level 2 and look for level 3. You could still get good stuff, by the way. Don't feel like you have to do Hell difficulty. You could still get amazing gear from Nightmare difficulty. Some people actually prefer Nightmare difficulty because it's like faster or the gear's not quite up yet. That's totally fine. Generally, though, Hell will give you better stuff. But there are certain instances where you want the item level to be lower. So here we go, we're at level 3, that's where like you see a little purple indication. And Mephisto will always be in the same spot, level 3 is always the same. You can throw up a few static fields if you want to, but since it's Nightmare, I'll be melting him quite fast anyways. And he popped, and look, we got a unique item. Awesome, and we can pick up the rest of the items if we have some extra items. And break these baskets because they're in the way. And then we just go to Act 4, and then we would reset, and we would do this on Hell difficulty eventually once you start getting your levels up. And you're able to do it consistently. So now I'm going to go back to keyboard and mouse because I prefer it for like explaining things. So we got this. Let's see what it is. Oh, you got this item over here. 3 to Barbarian skills. Hey, that's kind of cool. Maybe I want to make a Barbarian because of this. This personally, I have no use for it. So I'm just going to go ahead and either I can give it away. Usually what I do since I'm a content creator is like I'll stream and say, hey, anyone want this? Yes or no? If no one wants it, I just junk it if I don't need it. You can pick up these other items to get gold. And ideally, what I would recommend gambling for in terms of items, it depends on your level too, but I just try to go for an amulet because it's relatively common to actually get an amulet that's pretty decent. For rings, ideally, yeah, you want faster cast rate, but there are blue rings that can be great too, but for the most part, I would much rather just gamble amulets because you have a much better chance at getting something, and even if it's not for your class, let's see how much gold do we have. We'll show it off too. Might as well. So we can go over here and we'll go pick up all of our gold because I put up our gold on this like one stash. If you want to, there are people that swear Hell difficulty gives you different drops, but I don't think it really matters, to be honest. So we're going to go ahead and play. We're going to go to Hell difficulty. And the only thing that should matter is your actual level because it's whatever your level is, I believe, plus 4 or 5 for the gamble. But anyways, I like Geed. I don't know why. He just gives me better stuff. So, anyways, we're going to gamble for amulets. You can see it costs 55,000. It's not cheap. But, I mean, it might change because I have this that reduces vendor prices. Let's see. You can see, yeah, it shows it in real time. I didn't know if I had to reopen it up. But if you have, there's a bow you can craft too. It's really cheap. It also gives you reduced vendor costs. If you want to, feel free to craft that as well. But I'm just going to start gambling for amulets. So We'll see if we get something good. It might happen. This is extra content for you guys. Okay, so terrible. Terrible. And don't expect to get something good, like, really early on. If you play Diablo... there we go. Defensive auras. Hey, we got one. Maybe that could be good. Here's one that's, like, not bad for, like, a lower level. It actually is pretty nice. We got all resistances. And so, like, if I was... Like, I'm not streaming at this moment, but I would say, hey, would anyone like this? This is actually a pretty decent one for lower levels. And then I would sell all the other ones. There are some crafting things that you can do. I think we can maybe buy one more. No, we can't even buy one more unless I sold one of these. But yeah, you can keep on buying this. This is a really nice feature because normally in Diablo 2 you wouldn't be able to refresh until you got whatever you wanted with the right like weapon type. You can also gamble for circlets, diadems. Those are another things that you can go for. But generally, I just go for amulets until I get like this one. I probably couldn't trade for very much. But if I rolled one that had like massive amount of lives and +3 to a specific skill, except for like necromancer curses because like no one wants those, but there are certain things that you got to be on the lookout for. And in terms of like other items and drops, I haven't really gotten anything really cool. There is this that I want to give to my mercenary, but he needs to be a couple more levels. Oh, he's dead right now, but he will die. The mercenary definitely does die. But keep on the lookout for other items. I'll probably make a video later on this, but you can get certain items for like obscure builds. Sometimes they're like really weird, like you don't need it to have certain things, but to get to like plus skills. There was another item I got. Let me see if I have it. No, this is another item that I just happened to get. It's just +1 to sorcerer skills, gives us faster cast rate, which is kind of nice. Okay, here we go. This is one I just found. Don't skip over smoke spheres, any like caster wand, just pick them up. You never know. This is a blue item that grants us 3 to cold skills, and it gives us life. If one of the other mods, instead of it being a fireball or chain lightning, it was something else, like, you know, maybe faster cast rate or plus to like a specific skill that would work in the plus to cold, lightning, whatever, this could be worth something. Just because it's a blue or yellow item does not mean that it's like not as good as legendary or uniques, as what they're called in Diablo 2. But this is a nice pair of gloves. This is the only thing I have that's like kind of nice. This is nice too, but like these are really common. And now I'm going to go ahead and actually open up this, and this is something important that I do want to show you guys as well. So I'll leave this in the pinned comment. This is a drop calculation by Silo Spend. That's the website. So if I wanted to go, like, I would select Diablo 2 Resurrected, and I'd say how many players are in the game, how much magic find do we have, we're looking for a boss, or whatever we're killing. Usually you're going to say, like, boss, normal, or nightmare, and you can see, if I wanted to get, let's say, the armor that I currently have, which is Skin of the Viper Magi, I would hit find, and it would show Andariel and Nightmare, and the Q is what's called quest bug, but I believe that in D2R, they just said, well, we're just going to give quest bug drop ratios to everything, so that's like a better chance. Basically, the first time that you kill the boss, you have a better chance at getting a better set of items. So you can see over here, our probability in Nightmare is 1 out of 414. If I go to Hell difficulty, I hit find, our probability actually goes higher. So that's what I was saying before, where like you can farm a lower difficulty. If you're looking for a specific item, it can be better to go to a lower difficulty. So even though these odds are pretty bad, this is also where you would type in your magic find. I don't know how much we have here at this moment, but let's say like we have like 50, okay? You'll see that the number, it definitely does change. So the more magic find you have, generally the better, but if you go like above 400, let's put like from 400 to 500, we have like 1 in 500, and if we get another 100, it doesn't go down that much. So anything above like 3 to 400 is kind of like the most that you want to get. Like, you can get more. It's not like it's going to be worse if you get too much, but there is an exception. If you're looking for a white base item to put in sockets, then you don't want to get too much, because what it does is it has to roll the item. So like it would roll a base of the item, which is a serpent skin armor, and when you have more magic find, it's going to change it to be a higher item. So then it goes from a white item, the more magic find, it has a higher chance to be blue, then it has a chance to be yellow, and then it has a chance to be perhaps a magic, rare, unique. Basically, it ups the chance on that. So it doesn't work with runes. I should actually show you guys another spot by Lure Cuirass, which is another good farming spot. I'm trying not to make this video too long, but I have to explain this. So whatever item that you're looking for, you can visit any Diablo 2 build guide. You know what? I'm going to include the max roll one for the fireball build, and I'll also include the frozen orb one in the pinned comment. But you can see what they're equipping for gear. Actually, I should probably just put this up right now. Give me 1 second. Let me pop up the max roll let's go to the, let's say, any guide. Like I said, I'm going to use Maxroll because this is a really great website. Once it loads up, and okay, cool. So let me capture this. So you can see all of the items that are here. It'll go for like, if you want to get a Magic Find build, they usually have like pretty much the go-to. And like if you mouse over the item, you're wondering, where do I get this? It'll tell you via the website that I just put in. So you'd look for like, Akkus would be Swirling Crystal, like the base of the item, and Holocron Crest Shaco, this is what I was talking about. So regardless if you want to build a fire one, and there's also like the jewel called Rainbow Facets, that's something that we'll mention later, but you can go for Magic Find. Like I said, there comes a fine line between being able to actually kill the content and being fast enough, and when you max out your entire inventory, you wouldn't be able to pick up anything. So you can also equip the Heraldric Cube. What you would want to get also as a rune word is Infinity. It requires 2 Burr runes and a Malin Ist, but this will really help out with resistances because it creates a conviction aura. Right now we're running Meditation, which increases our mana regen on our Mercenary, getting Andariels, like it just... Whatever you're looking for, use that drop calculator, but there's also runes. Like, Fortitude is not a unique item that's a sacred armor that drops and you identify it. It's a rune word, which we already ran over the mechanic, but if you're confused on anything, let me know in the comment section below. But basically just gearing up, and you basically just farm again and again and again until you get the gear that you are looking for. And that's pretty much what you're going to be doing in Diablo, is you're just farming for the gear. And who can say what the real end game is? Right now, in terms of Diablo, there really isn't an end game. You could keep on doing bail runs for drops. You can solo Magic Find. You could do whatever you really want to do. And that's the nice thing with Diablo. It's kind of like open for the end game. You could PvP. I'm just going to go ahead and click save and exit so I can show you guys kind of what the lobbies will look like in Hell difficulty. There's also Discord groups that you can join that will have like people trading items. So I'm going to select the Hell difficulty, and you'll see... let's see, this one is I quit free here. There's a lot of games that will say like free items that you can join. Sometimes you can maybe get lucky. This guy has an item called Titans for trade. Then you'd show them your items. You see sometimes games titled this for this, like for example, My Shaco for Mara. So Mara is a amulet that's actually really good. It's one of the best in slot for a lot of different builds. And basically you just join those games, and that's what the guy has, and that's what he wants for it. It's kind of like an old system of trading by just creating the game. So like, for example, you might have like bring perfect topaz, okay, or whatever. Sometimes it won't fit. You'll notice that. So a lot of times what people will do is they will say read script. So what that means is you are going to read the game description. So let me, hopefully I can find an example of this. Because you'll see over here, it'll have like game description, shadow GC here. That means a shadow grand charm. So basically, people will pretty much advertise whatever they're looking for. You can do bail runs. Sometimes there is like games like PvP. Sometimes you can just type in, like I guarantee if I type in PvP, whoops, that's no longer available. Oh, I think the Diablo servers are having issues again. So I'm not going to exit the screen now because this is pretty much where we're going to end this part because we're like half an hour in. So you do what you want to do. Once you complete Nightmare difficulty, obviously, then you do Hell difficulty, and then you keep on doing bail runs. Remember, try to get to about level 75 in this. Like I said, I don't want to exit here because I might be put in queue. And that's no fun. And that's why this video kind of took a while. Like, the Diablo servers are still currently having issues, but, hopefully they will sort that out relatively soon. But, yeah, you can join games. You can, even if you don't see the game's name, feel free to just type in, like, PvP or trade, like, let's see if I can join. Yeah, like I said, sometimes I think I'm kind of desynced with the server right now, and I'd have to, like, relog, and sometimes you gotta wait in the queue, and I don't want to do that right now since I still have the thing refreshing. But I wanted to show you guys drop free stuff. Be careful. There's lots of scams out there too with trading, and I do want to kind of make a video on that. But I'll cover them next one. This video is really, really long at this point. But yeah, complete Nightmare. Get to bail runs. Keep on doing that till about level 75. Once you complete that, play in a group, because in Hell difficulty, there's going to be so many things that are immune to cold and fire. Those are like more common ones. Lightning's a little bit more rare. Oh, I was going to show you. Oh, hold on. Can I do this? Okay. I got lucky. I swear it said like it wouldn't let me join games, and it happens. So You can do lower Cuirass runs. These are another great form of doing magic find runs, although you don't really get magic find off of these. They're called super chests. So what you're trying to do in here is looking for these chests. They're usually in these little huts. Let's go. I gotta find at least a few. There we go. Unlucky. But these little huts this is actually like a form of endgame content. There's a lot of these. You can open up any of these, but it's usually the chest that you want. Another great spot if you are doing cold is going to be ancient tunnels from the Lost City. Let's see. There should be. Okay, there we go. We just got gold. But like you're gonna do these thousands and thousands of times. Don't expect like it to be super easy and it's like, oh, in the first few tries you can do different areas in Act 3. But like generally like opening up the chest over there is another popular form of like farming. But I would probably stick with doing Mephisto and doing Andariel in Hell difficulty. Those are kind of like the go-tos that most people like to do. The reason why most people just like to do Mephisto, but because the servers are so sketch right now in terms of like reliability, if you create and join games really fast, because that's how you play Diablo. You farm the area, you leave, you make a new game. If you do this too fast, it will lock you out. And to prevent that, people are doing Andariel, and then they're doing Mephisto, and then they leave. Normally people just do Mephisto because it's like one level shorter, because Catacombs you got to get one layer deeper to get to the boss. And also the poison's kind of nasty with Andariel. But that's basically what you do, and that's kind of the end game of Diablo. But I'll probably follow up with another video later down the line, and also PoE starting up very soon, so I'll be covering some guides on that. So I'm pretty excited. Sorry this video did take a while to get out, but like I said, there were so many nights where like I'm like, all right, I'm trying time to work on my Diablo video, and the servers are just having issues. So if you're having issues, hey man, I'm having issues too, and hopefully it will be sorted out because this is an awesome game, and I'm really excited to see what they plan to do for the new ladder season. But if you get too burnt out of your one character, feel free to make a new character, do it all over again, see what the new skills are. Don't feel like you always have to stick with one character. That's the awesome thing with Diablo, is these builds and the characters' playstyles are so different from one another. But obviously now you guys have the info on what the important quests are and like kind of where to go. But Sorceress is definitely the best to start off with. Like I said, I got that Barbarian Polearm. It's not a very good one, but look, I got this defensive one. Maybe I'll make a Paladin. Maybe I want to make something else. There's options to get gear for other characters, and it's kind of like that excitement. Oh, I got this thing for another character. It's cool. But anyways, thanks for tuning, guys. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like on your way out, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care. Peace.